Okay, so your question is how to find out what our Dharma is. Yeah? Okay, this is a question which was asked, like, I think many times to Guruji.
Sorry.
No, it's no problem. I can understand this question will always again arise in people's, in everybody, I would say, because of course, if you're on the path, there's always times where you start to, as you evolve and as you transform, as you change, in your being, in your attitude, in your worldview, automatically also this question starts to be asked over and over again, like, what is actually my Dharma? What should I do? Am I doing the right thing, or am I not doing the right thing? And so on and so on. Often it is when you are on the spiritual path, of course, people want to do something which is more spiritually inclined as their Dharma. So you're still there? Yes. Hello? Everybody is still there? Can somebody move? Hello?
Ativa, quando a pessoa fala, ela vai para a imagem principal. Então, se ficares caladinho, não aparece aí em grande, desculpa. Ou tens outra hipótese, que é fixar a janela do Swami. Aí, mesmo que vocês falem, não aparece.
Am I in the right meeting? Or is this the wrong meeting?
Yes.
I'm in the right meeting?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Sorry, it was just throwing me out. How far did you hear me? Komodaki-das?
It was when you're saying that this kind of questioning is natural on a devotee when we start becoming when we are devotees and start dedicating our life to the spiritual path. It's natural that we question this.
That was the last thing you heard?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so when you're on the spiritual path and the more you evolve or transform and have a different worldview, the more you will ask this question, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right place? And often we, of course, want some spiritual dharma, or what we think is spiritual. So what is very much like this being yoga teacher or healer or practitioner, energetic healing and stuff like this, like that's sometimes considered to be a better dharma than doing some I don't know, manual work and being just in a company or whatever. So that the question, that's why I think so often people ask this question, because we over and over again transform and have renewed this question inside of us. So what did Guruji say about when people ask them, what is my Dharma? So most of the time when Guruji is asked, Guruji, what is my Dharma? He asks a question back. And the question he asks back is, what are you doing? What is your job? And people will say, I am doing this and that. I am that and that. And then mostly Guruji's answer is, that is your Dharma. And then people are like, but I wanted to do something else. I wanted to be more spiritual, more, I don't like my job. I don't like my boss. I don't like this environment. I want to do something else. Does this mean that I cannot change what I'm doing? No, that doesn't mean that you cannot change what you're doing. Of course, your dharma has different stages. Yeah, there is a swadharma meaning the personal duty what everybody has to do, and of course there is um, objective dharma which we all have to pursue, and that is the spiritual dharma what we are doing. By being a devotee or being on a spiritual path, it is the dharma of a human being to firstly develop more humanity, become fully human. That's the first step of the dharma, like to be properly humane, and through that you support society and you support your surroundings and everything. Secondly, to realize your true self, so that you get on the spiritual field where you now realize not just being a good person, but now you realize this divine spark inside of you. And thirdly, attain the love of God, attain the grace of Guru and God, attain his lotus feet and serve him eternally. So this is everybody's final dharma in life itself. Like, there is no higher dharma than that. Everything what happens in your life is pointed towards this thing, to evolve, first become a proper human being, then realize yourself, then realize realize God. So, but this is a very abstract thing. When people ask, what is my dharma? They don't ask, there is a mixture of this thinking, of this, yeah, I have a spiritual purpose. And now they think, how is this spiritual purpose connected with my physical existence, right? Like, I have a spiritual purpose, but I'm living in a physical material world. How do these two things go together? Like, what can I do? As I know I have a spiritual purpose, it seems that this material purpose I'm having is so different from this spiritual purpose. That's why often people seek a spiritual dharma, like doing something with energy and spirituality and yoga, so that it's fitting more and more. Like, the more you are in a physical world, you're working in a industry, and you're working on the construction site and whatever, it might seem like this has nothing to do with it. But this is a wrong perception. So, like I said, Guruji often says, when people ask the question, whatever you're doing is your dharma. Once you accept your dharma, once you accept that the place where you are placed is the place where you have to be because of whatever circumstances, because you can learn something in that, because others can learn from you, and so on and so on. Like, there's this metaphysis, like, where you support each another. There's something which you have to learn, and where you are being in the presence of other people, and you can bring something to others. Yeah, it can be very subtle, or it can be very obvious. Like, if I may just take, for example, Sitaram. Yeah, he is a football trainer. He gets kicked out over and over again from his team. Sorry, Sitaram. But it's like he's like thrown there, and he does his job as a football trainer. In the same moment, he gives something which is spiritually, which is the highest dharma, and then maybe that changes again. And next thing. But the moment you are in that place, that is what your Dharma is. If I tell you, for example, from my perspective, when I came here to the ashram in 2008, this place was a mess. This place was a ruin. Yes, it was like absolute, like the main thing was to get the construction going. So what we were doing is mainly constructing, building, renovating, and so on. And I do like that things. I do like to do some rough work and whatever. Yeah, I'm not really the fine person. But still, do I think that is my Dharma? Like, I remember when I had some discussions with Guruji at that time, where he spoke to me about certain challenges which I encounter in my path, in my seva, in my physical existence, even in the ashram, because that doesn't change. Like, people think when you're on the ashram, now you have this spiritual purpose and this material purpose is absolutely balanced. But that it's not true, because the balance is not happening because of outside circumstances. The balance is happening because of an inside point of view, an inside attitude which I have. Because I know plenty of people which are here in the ashram and they are seeing the seva in the ashram like a day-to-day job, where it's like, where they think it is a work and not a spiritual thing, where you forget again this connection. So this connection where your physical existence and your spiritual existence come together, your physical dharma and your highest spiritual dharma come together, that's something which you have to create within yourself by knowing that anything, any place where you are, it is the right place. And you can learn, you can grow in your highest dharma, in your humanity, in your self-realization, in your God realization, in wherever you are right now, you can learn a lot. Like, let's just be clear. You want to have unconditional love. Well, if you are in an environment which is full of absolute jerks, which have no feeling for spirituality and whatever, absolutely materialistic and whatever, it is one of the best environments to practice unconditional love. Yeah. If you want to find an inner strength, like, yeah, I like being free from, like, if it's like this or it's like that, being in a lot of outside troubles where the world is getting really on you, financial problems, this problems, that problems, and so on. Well, that's the best environment where you can develop your strength, your trust into God, and so on and so on. So you can see everywhere you are, in every work you're doing, you have a boring work where you do the whole day the same thing, ching ching, sorting out some things. While it's a great work to not think and you can just do your japam continuously. Yeah, whatever, in any place you are, in whatever you do, there is a great chance to actually get closer to your real dharma, to your higher dharma, becoming firstly a good human being, realizing yourself secondly, and finally attaining the lotus feet of God. So when I was here, what did I do? I was digging holes, breaking walls, working on those things. And I remember once we had this this discussion where he said, like, why certain challenges are there and so on. And I said, I'm glad for that, because I'm not just here to dig holes and to break walls. That is not the sole purpose of my being here. I do that because that is required, and I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. Not always, but I make my peace with it. Like I like doing that. So what does Guruji say? Once you accept your dharma, your status quo, once you start to find love and acceptance in it, and you find the meaning in it, then a higher dharma is revealed. At a certain point, what happens? Suddenly new structures come, changes come in the ashram, and they say, well, we need an area manager. We need an area manager for kitchen and facility and the garden. And we were thinking, you can do it. And I'm like, me? I never did any managing work. And honestly, I prefer to dig my holes and break walls than being involved with people and managing people. You know what I mean. Like that can be much more difficult than dealing with a concrete wall. Yeah. If you hit the concrete wall, it will break sooner or later. If you get a tough person, yeah, I might break. So I asked Guruji, and he was like, yeah, it's okay, do it. Okay. So I become area manager. So there's now a lot of things I have to do, which I actually, from my nature, like how I know myself, I don't like to do. Like have to organize every morning a morning meeting, entertain those guys, give them work, and fight about stupid things because somebody's challenged you and this and that. Like just a headache, you know. Let me go out and drive the bugger around and do some stuff which is fun. Because it's sitting now in my office and doing some protocols and papers and documents. But okay, this is the dharma which is given to me. Do it, and do it to the best what I can do. So I start doing it, and what happened? Many challenges, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the most difficult situations and from the greatest assholes, sorry the expression, I was working with. I learned the most for my highest dharma. Also for the physical one, how to deal with it, but mostly for the spiritual one. Because now if you sit in doing your kriya and you can't even do your kriya in peace because now you're bothered about your physical existence, people who annoy you in your work, problems which you have to solve, and so on and so on. Maybe you know how that happens, like worries which you have in your material world is now influencing your spiritual world. That is really bad. Yeah. But that's up to you to learn to get that out, to make this difference. So this goes on and this goes on. And then between being Rishi and at some point becoming a Swami, and now what happens now? Don't be a manager anymore. Now the whole thing changes, and now I'm not allowed to be a manager anymore because the appointed Swamis are, the board of appointed Swamis is in charge of the mission after Guruji. Like we are, the 12 Swamis should represent Guruji. So you can't be the up there and down there. That doesn't work. So now suddenly I'm not allowed to be an area manager anymore. And now I have other challenges. Because now we have other meetings and we have other things where we have discussions. It's not always just the easiest thing. But if you start seeing that there's always Guruji's hand inside, and you always know that your dharma, your true dharma is firstly to become a real human being, a proper human being. Secondly, then to realize your true self and live in Atma Kriya, in the awareness of yourself, and then finally attain the lotus feet of the Lord through his grace, well, then you learn to see that everything which happens is helpful for that process. And once you accept that, the changes will come automatically to you. You are now doing that job. You will either get fired or you will just have the impulse and find another job or whatever. But if you are not accepting it, if you're not, yeah, I'm being signed out again. I'm still there? Everything okay? Yes? Okay. But if you don't accept it and you want to skip the process, then this doesn't work. I've seen plenty of people. I have an old friend or colleague or person I at least had know from the past, and he always tried new healing systems. Like he learned all kinds of healing systems, and he did working in hotels and so on, and he always tried to do this kind of work, but he never succeeded. He always had to go back to build up tents and do like this manual work where he is really good also. But he was always like, no, this is not for me. I want to do this spiritual work, working with that and that and that. But if the time is not ready, then life will show you that it's not the right thing for you. You can see others which they start a project and it just works out. Why is that? Because it's meant, because it's ready for it. So what is your Dharma? There is one objective Dharma which we all have, the absolute, to attain the lotus feet of God. That is the purpose of lives. That's the purpose of existence. Nothing else. This loving relationship with God. That is it. There's goals underneath to realize first yourself, and before that, even come to a state where you know, where you develop this humanity and be a decent human being. Because also there you can't skip the things. You can't be an absolute demon jerk and then think, now I'm going to Bhakti Marga, I put the tilak on my forehead, and now I am like skipping all the steps. Yeah, by Guru's grace, maybe it's possible, but normally the Guru will still put you through all those steps, yeah, the purification and the changes and the transformation. So there is this highest Dharma, and the real Dharma is a spiritual Dharma. Become human, realize yourself, attain the lotus feet of God. The physical, material reality in which you are is always, in whatever you do, supportive to that. It doesn't matter if you're on the ashram, if you're outside of the ashram. It doesn't matter if you're on this side of the world, on the other side of the world. It only depends if you can unite those two realities within yourself and find out that everything what I'm doing is seva. Everything what I'm doing is service to the Lord. Yeah. Like Krishna says in the Gita, everything what you do, everything in, I think it's in chapter 9, verse 27. Yeah, chapter 9, verse 27, where he says, Yat korosi, yat juhosi, yat work for me, do everything for me, worship, every worship what you do, every tapasya what you do, everything what you do, offer it up to me. Anything you do in your life, do it for me. Doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you do. Do everything in remembrance of the Lord. Shriman Narayana, Charano Sharanam, Prapatye Shrimate Narayanaya Namaha. Everything, make it a service to your lotus feet. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva Buddhyatmana prakrite svabhavati karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayana iti samarpayami. The last verse, we had it already once in the satsang of the Vishnu Sahasranama. Every word, every action, every my whole buddhi, my intellect, my mind, my indriyas, my senses, everything, let it be a service at your feet. Doesn't matter where I am and doesn't matter what I do. And if you live like that, you are fulfilling your dharma. And the true service, like the highest physical, material service, what you can do, will automatically be revealed to you. Yeah, you just have to make yourself ready for it. Because I know sometimes you sit at home and you're like, well, I would like to do something meaningful. I would like to make an impact in the world. I would like to change the world, or like serve Guruji in a way, in a better way, because I'm doing nothing. I'm like just sitting here doing my job. And if you're lucky, you have a seva. Of course, if you can do a service in Bhakti Marga, that's of course a great way of supporting Guruji, because of course Guruji is the manifestation of this highest dharma. And the moment you support him in any way, like you all do, like Bhakti Maio Portugal, with events, with books, with shop, with music, with video production, with this, in the whole world, people who do their service in that, all of this is part of the dharma. But I'm saying it's part of, because you also have to sustain your personal life. You have to pay your rent, you have to feed your family and so on, because that's also your dharma. Because if you can do that, then you are also no use to help others. You understand? So it's like when you are at your home and you think like, oh, Guruji, what can I do for you? Then that already is actually the right mindset, where you make the invitation. If you really sincerely say, God, Guruji, I want to live for you, which actually as a devotee you have to some extent done, let me serve you, show me how I can serve you, then the things will encounter you. You will get the chance. Now the question is only, are you really sincere or not? Because the things which you encounter might not be what you like, what your mind likes. It might not be that what you thought it be. Yeah, I tell you a small story. When I first came, it was very funny, because before I met Guruji, I was in India, and I met somebody who, like, I had, in the end of this trip, I was a few months in India, and the last months last 1-2 months I was in Rishikesh, because I was sick for over a month. And so I was there, and there was a lady, and she had a lingam which was manifested by a master. And that was, at that time for me, that was like, whoa, what's going on? A manifested lingam, like what? Like, I just read the autobiography of Yogi, like, and Swami Rama living with Himalayan master, and like, what, this shit is true. Like there's even people who met these masters which can manifest things. And like, I was wow. Yeah. So I was in an ashram in Rishikesh. We had everyday lecture on the Gita, we had meditation, and then this lady comes with this lingam, and she does healing with this lingam. And by some chance, I'm in the presence, and I don't know what happened, but somehow I got involved, and we did pujas and blessings, and I just had, it did a great transformation inside of me. A transformation to such an extent that I was like, wow, that is it. Like, I want a lingam. Like, this is amazing. This is like a drug. Like, this is great. Like, you just have this lingam, you put it on, and it's like, boom. Like, I like this. Yeah. So when I come back from India, I met a lady in Italy, like in a village next to my place, and she was the disciple of that guru, and she just came back after 12 years of being in India, and she had the personal lingam of that guru. Wow. Now I was hanging out with her, and we did pujas and singing and all of this, and she just told me about all what she experienced. That's how I got to know about Guruji, actually, because he visited the ashram. And then she told me that she had to tour around with that lingam and give speeches and tell about, bless people and spread the word of the master. And what she experienced there, like how she felt that the guru was working through her and all of those things. And I was like, in my question, what is my dharma? That's it. Like, I want to tour around the world, like, wow, with the lingam, manifested from a master and just blessing people, and like, it's great. Yeah. I had a van, so everything was actually perfect for that. So now I meet Guruji, and I'm here in the first Shivaratri, and I see the first time Shiva lingams being manifested. Wow. And now next day he's distributing them, and I'm like, must be me. Like, I know I have to get the lingam. It's for me. I know it's for me. And it goes on, and he does his game, like, you and you and you and like, he doesn't call me. And I'm like, I'm not gonna ask, because if it's really meant for me, and I know it's meant for me, then he will give me. Then Shiva will call for me. Then Guruji will call for me. I will get this lingam. Yeah. So the evening passes, and I'm not getting a lingam, and I'm swallowing it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not saying anything. And the next day, I'm not saying anything, but it's still bothering me, because, oh my God, I want a lingam like this lady had, and I want to go around and bless people, and like, I'm made for this stuff. Yeah. Then the day after, Guruji invites me for food, which was a great thing. Yeah. Like, I was fresh here, just getting into it. So I was sitting with him, and after lunch or dinner or whatever we had, he called me next to him, and I kneel next to him, and he's like, oh, what's going on? Like, you seem a little bit troubled and blah, blah, blah. And in the beginning I said nothing and no. But then I thought, like, you know what? Just spit it out. Like, this is my chance. I'm going to say that I need a lingam. Yeah. I'm supposed to have a Shiva lingam. So I told him that I really want a lingam, or I thought I'm supposed to have a lingam. And he's like, you want a lingam? I'm just saying I want a lingam, nothing else. And then he's like, you want a lingam? Yeah. So would you go around the world and spread my message and bless the people? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Yes, exactly. he got it, he felt it, he saw it. And he's like looking at me, having this thing look. He's like, yeah, you're ready. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah. And then he's like, no, you're not ready. I'm like, what? I'm not ready. It's like, how many people you know? I'm saying, I know some people. Like, how many you know? I don't know. Like, I started to think, like, giving some number. Like, and you go to many cities and many places. So, wow, not so much, but I have a van. I can drive. I can go to place. And he's like, yeah, you are ready. Yeah. I think, yeah, you are ready. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, my Dharma is coming. My great Dharma is coming. And again, it's like, no, not yet. And again, like, oh. And again, he keeps on talking. So how is it, like, how you really, like, you feel like that you spread this message and the love, and you want to inspire people and awaken this inner love for them? And yeah, exactly that, Guruji. I want to awaken people to this love for God and things like. And he's like, yeah, you're ready. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And again, he's like, no, not yet. And I'm like, it's like, he keeps on playing. And that went on, I don't know for how long. He kept on, like, pulling the seats there. He was, like, speaking out what was going on in my mind, was what I was thinking, what I should be like, like, I am the one which I have a lingam of the enlightened master, a manifested lingam, Shiva himself, and I am blessing, of course, selflessly, no ego, but I am doing all of those. Yeah, I am this messenger. This was somewhere probably creeping inside there. And Guruji was just putting it over and over. He was like putting it. So you're going to do this. Oh, yeah, I see it. You're ready. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And no, I don't think you're ready. What do you mean I'm not ready? Why you think like. And like this, it was going on over and over again till the conclusion was clear. No, it was not clear, but it was kind of, I'm not ready. Something like that. Something like, anyway, I walked out and I was like, you know what, kid? Have this. Like, I didn't want to ask at all. And now I almost was begging and still I'm not getting it. Like, this is really frustrating. Like, I'm like, I want to fulfill my Dharma, my life purpose. And I see, I I will tell you, I will fulfill my life purpose. And then I walked out and I was a little bit down because of that. And then it hit me somehow. So my question, the question which arose in me was like, well, why do I want a lingam? And there was the first sincere answer is, what was my first motivation is that through the blessings I got at that time from that lingam, through that lady, I had real, like, life-changing experiences. It was filling me up with confidence. It was like it was the right time in the right place. Yeah, it was transforming. It was life transforming altogether. India, being sick, this lingam, the encounters, altogether, it stabilized something inside of me, which was very, very precious and very, very important for me when I came back from India, not to lose it immediately in my normal environment, to have like something I felt like strengthened. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to be further strengthened in my spirituality, further strengthened in my love for God, further strengthened in my inner awakening, and in helping others also in going closer to that. And as this little lingam has done it all in like this, I was thinking, that's it, that's what I need. So what was my first motivation was a sincere motivation of, I want to fulfill my highest dharma, a spiritual one. Yeah, becoming a better human being, realizing myself, realizing my love relationship with God ultimately, and helping others by making this even my material physical existence, yeah, by doing something, by combining those two, and now having a life which is just filled completely with, yeah, let's grow some wings and just be all the time in this amazing flying high. So that's the first reason I want to grow spiritually. Then there is a slightly, when I looked why I didn't get a lingam, I noticed that there was exactly that what I mentioned before. That part where it's like, I got a lingam from the master. I am carrying the manifested lingam from the master, and I can give you a blessing with that. You are aware what I'm talking about. Ego, spiritual pride, like something which is very subtle and at the same time very obvious. You might not speak it out, but it's very obvious. And Guruji was playing with it. He was absolutely playing with it. He was bringing it out, and then the frustration and the desire and the frustration, the desire and the frustration, the desire, frustration. This he does in a few minutes. He does this whole thing. That I was like, in the end, I was like coming to the point, but if the key to self-realization, if the key to God realization, if the key to a spiritual fulfilled life, the key to fulfill the highest dharma is in the grace of the Satguru. Here, if I have found my Satguru, I just read Paramahamsa Yogananda, and he says about this boom, he just touched you on the forehead and yeah, like if you're going, yeah, like by the grace of the master, in less than this he can give it to you, because the master, as much as you long for that highest dharma, he longs for you to attain it 1,000,000 times more, and he has all the power to give it. The moment you take shelter at the feet of a Satguru, of the master, he takes on the responsibility for your spiritual upliftment. He takes on the responsibility for your spiritual growth. He is in charge that you attain to what you have to attain. Okay? So far so clear? So what was my first motivation? My first motivation is, I want to attain what I'm supposed to attain. And I have an idea how I'm going to attain it if I have a lingam, if I'm going around and doing my dharma. But if my guru, which is not just the path, but the key, the goal itself, he knows best, I don't need to ask him. If he thinks that me having a lingam is really beneficial for me, he will give me one. I don't need to ask him, because he is in charge. He took on the responsibility. It's not my business. He knows, and if he needs to give me something, he will give it. And if I don't get it, it means I don't need it. Right? And once I had that in my mind, I made peace. It was like, that desire was like, wow, great. Out of my mind. I don't need a lingam. Wow, it's so liberating. I don't need a lingam. I don't even want a lingam anymore. You know what? Like, who cares about the lingam? I have a guru. I have the Satguru. I have the greatest Satguru ever. Like, he's gonna give me that what I need. Once that is being installed here, once I accept that I'm digging holes and I'm breaking walls and whatever work comes, cleaning or whatever it be. In that moment, what happens? I'm sitting with Guruji in the temple. He shows me the temple, the deities and everything. And he says, bring me a glass of water. I bring him a glass of water and he sits there and he does like, here. And he gives me a lingam. He says, this is part from the Prithvi lingam in Kanchipuram, like Ishtadeva is Kamakshi Devi, and there's the sand lingam, the Prithvi lingam, next to it, the Ekambareshwar temple of Shiva, where Parvati was hugging the lingam when they got married and so on. And she said, this is part from that one, like extracted. And I'm like taking it, and I'm like, oh, wow, thank you. That's it. Like, that's it. Like, it was not like, whoa, where's my tour gonna start? No, my tour, like, I'm not gonna go on a tour. I don't care. You see, it is not what you do. It is the mindset what you have. The same thing happened with that Makriya. He made me at Makriya teacher. What did I think? I gonna go conquer the world. Where's the conquistador? Is he here? Mahesh, conquistador, yeah? Like, I gonna go around and I gonna teach Kriya, like, because I am a Kriya teacher, Atma Kriya Yoga from Mahavatar Babaji, yeah? And I am a messenger, yeah? I see some of you. Are you proud about being an Atma Kriya Yoga teacher? So I'm becoming Atma Kriya Yoga teacher, and after the initiation, which was splendid, it was nice, walking out, and he just turns to me and says, you're not going to teach. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not going to teach? For now, you don't going to teach. I'm like, what do you mean you don't going to teach? I was ready. I'm going to Italy. I'm going to show everybody I'm a Kriya Yoga teacher. Yeah. People are calling me. I heard you became a teacher. Can you come and teach us? And I'm like, no, actually, I'm not allowed. Again, the same process goes on till I realize what that process is. Till I make peace, and it's actually, oh wow, I don't need to stress about getting students. I don't need to stress about teaching people and keeping up with people. And it's actually nice. Like, I'm not allowed to. The moment that, boom, we are in India. These two guys there, go and teach them. Yeah. So why I'm telling you all of this is just, you made the question which was asked over and over again, which is a good question about our Dharma. We have one ultimate Dharma, to eternally serve the Lord, loving service to Him. Before that, we have to realize our true identity, our true self. Before that, we have to become decent human beings. But there is one absolute Dharma which we all have in common. That is what we have come for, and we should never forget that. That's why we became devotees, or that's why we're on the spiritual path, even if you're not a devotee initiated. If you're truly following Guruji, even if you're not initiated, that is what it's about. Like, whatever you do, it is for spiritual growth. That is the spiritual Dharma. And then there's the physical reality in which you live in. And I know everybody wants to lift up that physical work to match with that higher reality, living in the ashram and being some Kriya teacher and being this guru or that or whatever, lingam carrier or whatever you want to be. Yeah. But no, whatever it is, you're digging holes, you're breaking walls, you're cleaning the toilets, you're working in an industry, you're being in a family, you are a mother, you are a father, you whatever it is, everything what you do can be something where you grow into that, where you have a platform to grow into that. And while you accept this, the place where you are, while you learn the lessons what you need to learn in your present circumstance, when you have learned it, then you can grow out of it and maybe something else presents itself. Yeah, like I said, what happened suddenly, I become a Swami. He not just, I don't have just one lingam here. I have now all the lingams from the last few years on my altar because I like them. Like he's like, what are you doing with them? Like I just keep them here to serve them every day. Another one, he manifests himself, Narayan, out of the heart, and suddenly I'm in Portugal touring around blessing people with Sriman Narayana. And I'm just thinking back of 12 years back where I'm like, yeah, I am gonna go and bless the people. And now it's like, now that what I thought is my dharma is actually becoming my dharma, but the mindset is a complete different one. You get what I mean? But I didn't expect it anymore to become that. That has just manifested. If you would have asked me, I would have even said, no, I don't want that anymore. I'm happy if I'm just here doing some gardening. Like, it's great. I love it. Yeah, what is there better? Don't get me wrong. I love to come to Portugal and see you guys. Yeah. But just to give you the idea how everything develops, and yeah, and there's still a lot to discover. Yeah, like we're still young, most of us, and life is full with surprises. So just take every day as a blessing, um, as a gift from the Lord, as a gift from Guruji. Appreciate it and make the best out of it. To see Him in everything, to live in accordance with His teaching, and yeah, and spread, live this love, serve Him, always in remembrance of that. Sriman Narayana Charano Sharanam Prapate. Everything at your feet, everything a service, refuge at your feet. Yeah. Every day, Krishna Arpanamastu, everything I offer to you, O Lord. Whatever it is. Yeah. And then you see, if the place where you're working is not fitting for you and something else presents, then doesn't mean that you have to get stuck in it. No, you can change, you can go on. But first you have to learn to accept where you are and what you're doing. Okay? Take it, Dave. Just 1 second. How you unmute you all?